on this flight wants to see or smell anyone else's feet. Hello, I'm Meg from MegsWanderings, and I'm a travel content creator and a flight attendant. And today we're going to be discussing some very weird behavior that I see on the plane, which is inexplicable to me. That's why I would like to share it with you, because I have no clue what people are doing and why they're doing it. If you do this, please tell me why. Anyway, I suspect there is some horrible echo going on. You do have to excuse me for that, but that is what I'm working with, so it is what it is. Okay, first of all, let me preface this by saying that in this video, I'm just making fun and throwing a little bit of shade on some very weird, inexplicable human behavior patterns. So please just don't take it seriously, don't take it personally. I know that in this day and age everyone is offended by everything, but still, just a little disclaimer.
You look so good today. Oh my god, that's sexist. So we see you got a bit of a tan on your vacation. Can you be more racist? You know, I love volunteering in animal shelters. Wow. There are so many human beings that need your help, and you are going to animal shelters instead? How speciesist.
Anyway, let me tell you a secret about a flight attendant life, which is that we judge you hardcore all the time. From the moment you step foot on this aircraft to how you listen to music or how you go to the toilet, we see everything and we judge everything. So let me start with first impressions. People say that you can't really make a second first impression. Sounds logical, so let me tell you how we judge you when you enter the aircraft. If you enter the aircraft not saying anything, not greeting anyone, although the flight crew, the cabin crew, anyone who's there, they're greeting you, they're smiling at you, and you just pass them with a dead expression on your face like they're just some sort of the interior design. Congratulations! You're already on my asshole passenger list. And to tell you the truth, about 30 to 40% of passengers do exactly that. I cannot tell you how many times I'm just on board being like,
hello, welcome on board, hello.
And they're just like, nada, nothing. No joke, you have no idea how many people haven't gotten the basic social interaction skills, you know, when they were kids. Their parents probably didn't tell them how to behave, or maybe they're just assholes. On the other hand, it leaves a very good impression if you come on board and then you're like, you know, hello, what's up, how are you, sup, something, you know, like you can nod politely and smile, like just acknowledge that there's a human being, like, you know, facing you, greeting you. I cannot believe that I can ever pass someone, you know, like a cashier, and they're like, hello, good morning, and I'm like, scan this. Like, what? Because at the end of the day, the cabin crew, they will be risking their lives to save your ass in an emergency situation, because this is our job. And the situation that makes me really like a passenger, and it's not like maybe not all flight attendants, but it's just me, I really love it when there's a small little kid and they're coming on the aircraft and they tell you hi, hello. They acknowledge you even before their parents say anything. These parents, they get a gold star from me for parenting skills. Apparently they're doing a very good job raising a normal, nice little human being. Please know that it is appreciated by society. Let's move on to another situation which is very common as well. When parents refuse to follow safety instructions, procedures regarding their kids. For example, when the seatbelt sign comes on during the flight because there's turbulence, and we, the crew, we have to go and check if everyone is complying with the seatbelt sign on. Yes, we have to make sure that everyone is seated down with their seatbelts fastened for their own safety. And there is always 1000% of the time there's this one mother whose child is just sleeping in a very weird configuration with their feet in the air, and we tell her to put the seatbelt on the child, and she looks up and says with the most annoyed voice,
"He's sleeping."
Oh really? Is he sleeping now? Oh, my bad then. Better for him to break his head on the ceiling when we drop with 30 meters. Yeah, that sounds much better than being woken up for 3 seconds to put the seatbelt on, right? My bad, I didn't realize that you don't care about your child's safety at all. Please, just forgive me for being more concerned for your child than their parents. Or another situation when the seatbelt sign comes on during the flight and there's always someone who comes to use the toilet. Now, I'm perfectly aware of the fact that when the seatbelt sign comes on during the flight, people think it's just sort of a joke, you know? It's like, if they don't feel vibrations, if they don't feel like something that makes them scared, they don't realize why the seatbelt sign is on and why they should be seated down with their seatbelts fastened. And they don't really grasp the concept of sudden, unexpected turbulence that could happen at any given second while they're standing up arguing with us. Just listen to me. If the seatbelt sign is on during the flight, this is because the pilots got reports from other pilots, from ATC, from whomever, from God himself, which stated, hey guys, we're experiencing turbulence at level this and this and this and this, just so you know. There's also a thing called clear air turbulence that can't be forecasted and can cause serious injuries. So when pilots do get those reports from other pilots or from ATC and they put the seatbelt sign on, this is for your safety. These usually don't last for a super long time, so if you just sit down for a few more minutes, you will be able to go to the toilet after that without throwing out a tantrum like a 5-year-old. And yes, I am aware of the fact that there are people with certain conditions who cannot hold their urine even for a few minutes. But even in these cases, let me just ask you this question. Is it better for such a person to be let in the toilet and then hit their head and pass out? Or is it better to just sit down for a few more minutes and not have a head injury? Something that's very important for people to understand is that the cabin crew is there for your safety. They're not there to pour your coffee. They're not there to give you peanuts. They're not there to ask you chicken, beef or whatever. No. The cabin crew is there for your safety. The cabin crew is there to evacuate you. The cabin crew is there to make sure that you get from point A to point B alive and well and in one piece preferably. This is the top priority over absolutely everything else. Moving on to another thing that passengers do, and trust me, every single flight attendant is going to judge you hardcore if you ever do this. You with me? Walking around with their shoes off. Bonus points if they're barefoot. And double bonus points if they're going to the lavatory like this. You can rest assured that every single flight attendant that sees you in this moment is thinking about one thing: how absolutely disgusting the floors are and how much bacteria you'll be bringing home. And in my personal opinion, it's just simply visually appalling. No one on this flight wants to see or smell anyone else's feet. Like seriously, there should be a rule against that. There should be a procedure that specifically states that passengers cannot remove their socks. Fun side fact, there actually is a rule against people taking off their shoes. In some, maybe all airlines, when you're sitting on an emergency exit row, you are not allowed to take off your shoes for the times of takeoff and landing. Because, as we've discussed previously on this channel, these people are supposed to be ABPs who are going to help in case of an emergency evacuation. So they have to initiate and start the evacuation, and imagine doing that with your socks off. So yes, shoes should be on at any time during takeoff and landing so they are prepared to evacuate themselves and others if, so they can open the door immediately. Something else that cabin crew discusses behind closed curtains in the galley is when passengers don't comply with the cabin baggage policy of their airline. If you want to sit on the emergency exit row and have all this extra space, you are just going to have to say bye-bye to the Dolce & Gabbana handbag for takeoff and landing. It is what it is. I really do not care how expensive this bag is, how much money you have there, how much credit cards you have there. It doesn't concern us, because for us, the emergency exit row is a place that needs to be kept clean of everything. Suitcases, jackets, bags, absolutely everything is a potential obstacle when you're trying to evacuate yourself. So we are trying to make it easier for you to be able to escape alive. And I mean, is this bag really more important than your life or someone else's life? Like, no. When you buy your ticket, when you reserve your seats, you agree to the terms and conditions of carriage. And if you actually read them, you would see. If you sit on an emergency exit row, all your personal belongings must be in the overhead lockers for takeoff and landing. This is something that you can read on the website. This is something that we say a few times during welcome announcements, and this is something that the flight attendant will eventually tell you personally to do if you're not complying with the procedure. So you better follow the rules and regulations, or you can take your fancy Dolce & Gabbana handbag and just get off the plane. We are also judging people on just their general behavior on the aircraft. Meaning, if you're sitting and you're watching a movie with exploding cars in full volume, or you're letting your children just run around everywhere, you know, touching emergency equipment and just bothering everyone else, and if you're making a mess on your seat, eating crisps and just like dusting it off on the seat and like everywhere, just, you know, general cleanliness, that's very important. Not for some people, apparently. Anyway, my head hurts just thinking about it. So there you go, these are some of the ways that flight attendants are judging you constantly when you step foot on the plane. When they're just like sitting around gossiping in the galley and you're like trying to overhear but you can't really. Sometimes that's what they're talking about. But come on, I don't think that any normal human being is actually doing those things. Like, these are some very odd people. Unfortunately, there are many of them for some reason. But I really do not think it's acceptable social behavior to walk around barefoot anywhere except the beach. Anyway, hope you enjoyed the video. If you found it informative or entertaining in any way, shape or form, you can give it a like. If you enjoy learning more about traveling, aviation and other random topics I like to talk about, you might consider subscribing to the channel, as it's completely free and it's going to help me create more content like this. And if you're already subscribed and you haven't clicked on the bell, which is next to the button, then click that bell. It's going to notify you whenever I'm going to upload in the future. If you have any questions, comments, suggestions, feel free to let me know in the comment section. I'd be more than happy to read them. So that's it. Bye. Hello. Honestly, that's just